Hello and welcome to the Musical Instrument Investigator. Today we are back on the French kind of auction site, Tarn Sales, and we're going to have a look at this auction, which is actually finishing in about 4 hours. So it's happening today on the 10th of June. It's a selection by Maître Philippe Amigues, Sales Hotel of Tarn, or Hotel de Vente du Tarn. So that's happening in France. I'm not sure 100% if this is some kind of private sale or not, or if this is just like the name of a known kind of dealer auctioneer in that area. If anyone knows, do let me know. But in any case, they have 236 lots of musical instruments, and the premium is 22%. So once again, this is in France, happening in about 4 hours. I'll put a link in the description if you're interested in anything. Look at all the information, and yeah, just make sure you know what you're getting into if you're bidding outside of France in terms of shipping and stuff like that. So you can probably tell my voice is a bit funny. I've been attacked by hay fever, and I was out walking for quite a while yesterday, so I'm recovering at the moment, so I'm a bit raspy, but we shall carry on and have a look what they have in this auction. So a Miracle violin with a Bertolini label, not sure how many pictures we get here, front and back, and a scroll, and that seems to be it, so that's fine, pretty standard. 19th century Miracle 365, that's very long. It's already fairly standard. Miracle violin again, 362, Steiner label. It's all fairly tradish so far. Miracle with a Breton label. Ooh, an 18th century violin and a Marti label, various restorations, 365. It's a curious one there. 2 to 300 is the estimate. That's very very long. Another Miracle violin, 360 is the back. Another Miracle, and quite long. Another Miracle violin. More kind of Miracle stuff, as you'd expect. Workshop violin of Georges Apparout, bit better than the other things that we've seen so far. German violin. .362 back. I do wonder how they're measuring the back, because that seems a bit long for a German violin. Miracle JTL 357. Half size Medifino. Violin by Francois Charot, 360 back. Three-quarter Miracle, all very standard. Miracle JTL, looks a bit ropey. Violin made in Miracle 1880 with the Derezi mark. Miracle violin bow, Pernambuco taut stamp. Violin or viola bow, 19th century. The Miracle bow, Pernambuco. Needs a bit of work. Another Miracle bow, 1920, with a Bethuld Paris mark. A whole load of Beelwood bows. Morozon bow, signed Pierre Heller Lille. A German violin bow, made around 1920. Miracle bow, signed Gustave Villaume, silver mounted. Whole load of bows. Don't think we really need to investigate that. We see a whole load of bows again. A violin bow by Bazin. Miracle violin, Clement. The Miracle violin. Miracle violin with the Strad label. Two Miracle violins. Interesting violin from the Italian school, amateur work from central Italy, sold as is. 357. I think that the estimates on these lots are a bit high. A violin, Strad label. Yeah, looks pretty nasty. Missing 3-2 there. German school violin, late 18th century, without label. Violin made in Eastern Europe, about 1930. Yeah, I think that is not particularly good. French violin, Guarneri model, 359. French violin, mid-19th century, Perrin mark. Another Miracle violin. Two Miracle violins. And another two Miracle violins. 18th century violins, Saxon or Eastern Europe, various restorations. 360 back. Needs a bit of TLC. An Italian violin made by the brothers Sacchetti, Gianetto and Leonida, 1932. Another violin, Eastern Europe, 1930s. Violin by Martin Strub, 1780. Italian violin from Callas's workshop, made in Naples around 1930. Interesting back there. Another two Miracle violins. Oh, we didn't look at the scrolls there, that was my bad. Another Miracle violin there, Lebert factory. Another two Miracle. And why not some more? Two cello bows, one fluted in snakewood, that's interesting. Cello bow by Paysold, made for Milan. Cello bow by Class Queen. Cello bow by Morison. Three-quarter Miracle cello. Cello made in Miracle around 1900. Nice 19th century cello from German school. Few pictures there. French cello made by Francois Vial in Monaco, 8 to 9,000. Interesting French cello made in Miracle around 1800 to 1820 from the school of J. Charot. 10 to 12 is the estimate on that. Cello bow from the school of Meyer or Picat. Cello bow by Bazar. Cello bow of Morison. Looks in an interesting condition there. Cello bow by Richaume. Pochette, basically folk art. Looks interesting. Three-quarter Miracle violin. Another kind of pochette or piccolo violin. Looks a bit rustic. Three-quarter violin there. And a bow. Some pegs, cello pegs, some rosewood pegs, miniature violin, marked Pegoraro Carrillo. Oh, some people collect these fractional ones, so that one's a bit more interesting than normal. Whole load of accessories there. It's a cornerless violin. Looks a bit, well, definitely amateur made. Look at the interesting figurehead there. Some cello pegs. A quinton, made in Miracle in the 18th century, transformed into a violin in the 19th century, then retransformed later back to a quinton. Interesting. Could be interesting for Baroque actually. That's an interesting lot. 70, some more pegs. Some more pegs. Oh, a bass file. Bass file. It's an interesting head there as well. 1800 to 2000. Some interesting cracks on the back there. Slightly more interesting. Case for two violins from Hill. Kind of fancy violin case. Let's see what the pictures now. Interesting kind of Chinese style decor. Another interesting decorated violin case. Certificate from Louis Constantin. Violin with artist name engraved on the table. Well, 80 to 100 euros seems a bit optimistic, and I think that's probably could be said with quite a few of the estimates in this auction. Tuning fork, adjustable lectern, that's interesting. Bow fiddle, 20th century, copy of a medieval instrument. She looks fairly nicely made. Banjo with 4 strings. Four-string banjo made in the 1950s. English banjo with 5 strings. C. Skinner, Portobello Road, London. Quite a lot of pictures there. 6-string banjo, manufactured around 1930. Musical mandolin, 20th century. Nothing too exciting there. Pretty standard. Oh, interesting. Mandolin, double top. Another 20th century mandolin there. Mandolin marked Phoebe on the table. Another miracle one. It looks like a 6-course mandolin by Cassini in Florence, 19th century. Eight-string mandola labelled Brambilla and Naples. Mandolin by Pietro Anselmi, Napoli, early 20th century. Some nice decoration on that. Neapolitan mandolin by Antonio Rinaldi. Interesting fluted back there. Mandolin by Pasquale Soriani. A stridente mandolin in this case. Mandolin, Luigi Vincentini, 20th century. A lot of these mandolins are not particularly good, unfortunately. Anonymous mandolin, earliest 20th century. Interesting head and inlay work there. Another mandolin. Eight-string mandolcello. Loud. Another loud. And another loud. There's quite a few louds for an auction. Banduria, so we're covering a lot of European bases here. And Quattro. Made in Brazil. A 4-string dulcimer. USA, 20th century. Ooh, an Orpheus mechanical zither, Germany, 1900. I haven't actually seen one of those before, I don't think so. Bit of a different take on the zither. Cutaway jazz guitar distributed by Paul Boischer. Pretty standard. Acoustic guitar from the 60s. I don't think we need to look at that too much. Yamaha FG 400. Classical guitar by Henry Miller. Interesting. Classical guitar, Paris Musical. No. Electric guitar, Eversound Epsilon, Asia, circa 1980. Something a bit different. Maya bass guitar from Japan. A Suspiro Spanish guitar. Pretty low quality there. Alhambra. Looks like entry level Alhambra. Yep. Miguel classical guitar. These are all pretty awful. Spanish child's guitar, made in Valencia. Spanish 6-string guitar, is it peg tuned? These can sometimes be interesting. And the Spanish classical guitar, label Miguel Rodriguez. Santos Meyer classical guitar, another just not very exciting. 6-string romantic guitar, 1850. Nice bird's eye used on that. A lot of repairs. Another romantic guitar that's had some curious repairs there. Quite like these guitars actually, normally with this kind of wide purfling, like multi-line purfling. It's quite cool look. Another romantic 6-string guitar. This one looks in a bit better condition. Cabase. Nice back to that. It's a hurdy-gurdy. They're always quite expensive. Another hurdy-gurdy there, Peugeot. Another hurdy-gurdy. Quite interesting. Pianoforte by Erard. Interesting. Erard's a good make. Piano by Freudenthaler, Paris, square piano. Square piano by Sistermans. Piano forte by Erard again. That one's in a bit better condition. The square piano by St. Julian. Oh, here's a square piano, but by Broadwood, who you know are famous for it. Can't help wondering if that is a bit of an optimistic price as well, the way that these things are going. Adjustable piano stool. Hey, walnut harpsichord signed on the table, PR1736, 18th century. Inscription in the body, repaired by Angel Lamas. Well, once again, looks like an interesting instrument. I'll be impressed if it sells for that, but maybe it will. Octidactyl by George Retief. A device for kind of finger exercising strength. It's quite curious. Don't see them every day. Ooh, an On Dioline by George Jenny, 1950. Never seen one of those before. Nice kind of valve amp there. That's kind of interesting. Glockenspiel with keyboard by J. Tournier. Nicely packaged up there. 12-note toy piano. Spinning tower. Presume for string making device. Actually, probably not that common, so that could be interesting for someone. Anonymous ebony fife. Hey, another ebony fife, marked M. Enders, maned. Fife in 2 parts of rosewood. Grenadier flageolet, 7 keys. Flageolet in rosewood with 5 keys. Anonymous 19th century boxwood flageolet. Nice case actually, that's cute. Rosewood flageolet. So a lot of flageolets. Ebony flageolet. A maple bass recorder, 20th century. Grenadier flute. Anonymous English flute, circa 1800. A harlequin flute. Anonymous flute, circa 1830. Silver flute, Auguste Bonneville. Grenadier flute. Anonymous flute in 5 parts. Anonymous grenadier flute. Anonymous flute, 5 parts of boxwood. Set of 2 flutes, 1 anonymous and 1 marked Gautreau. Flute in 4 parts. Bohème system flute. Anonymous 3rd flute in Grenadier. 3 piccolos. A tierce flute by Lecomte. Another grenadier flute. 19th century noble, grenadier flute, grenadier flute by Margherita, flute in 4 parts of boxwood. A lot of flutes. Another flute in 5 parts of boxwood. A traverso, Renaissance copy of fruitwood. Another traverso. Set of 3 Renaissance copy double recorder from former Yugoslavia. A Tix 2 in ebony. Anonymous German-made clarinet. 19th century clarinet. Anonymous B-flat clarinet. Clarinet in D, 5 parts. B-flat clarinet. Clarinet in B-flat. Another B-flat clarinet there. B-flat Lecomte clarinet, 19th century. Ebony 4-part clarinet. Another E-flat clarinet. Ebony Boehm system clarinet. Clarinet in C, boxwood marked JTL. B-flat clarinet, boxwood. Clarinet in C, 5 parts, boxwood. Clarinet in C, 5 parts. Clarinet in C, boxwood. Metal B-flat clarinet. Musette in 2 parts of blackened wood. An oboe simple system, 3 parts rosewood. Oboe in 3 parts of boxwood. Bassoon in maple with 8 brass keys. Lot of bassoon parts and spares. A cavalry trumpet by Pelisson Guinot. A 3-piston cornet by Perronet. Another cornet. A hunting horn. A bass hunting horn. Alto saxophone, Paris. Baritone saxophone from Lecomte. Very old bass drum pedal and some sticks. Kind of Chinese rattle. 5 bronze cymbals. Bass drum with 2 sticks. Little mini jazz band from about 1920. A 50s drum set. Interesting. Hofner 6-tone harmonica. A concertina. An accordion. Another accordion there, romantic accordions. Yep, another accordion. And another one there. An Italian accordion. Serjouk. In wood and iron, Toulouse region. A wooden bala composed of 15 blades. A yabara from Guinea. An Indian sarangi. A drum with 2 striking skins. An ntama armpit drum from Mali. 3 volumes of scores, handwritten scores. Music Chronicles. Encyclopedia of Violin Makers by Jelovec. Dictionary of Violin Makers Old and New by Henri Poidras. Some scores. Objects relating to music. Makers of the Piano by Martha Novak Klintskal. Lot of 2 musicians Gibbons. Military infantry drum, late 19th century. And a Maghreb lute. Well, there you go, that's it. We have come to the end of the sale. A few interesting items. There are actually a few interesting violins as well. Most of the other stuff not so interesting. I do think that some of the estimates are a little bit out there, but I'll be curious to see what happens. I think this kind of converted quinton back to a violin, quinton turned to a violin, then back to a quinton, and back again, or whatever happened, is interesting for sure. This is probably my pick of the auction, just from a curiosity point of view. Yeah, interesting auction. Not 100% sure about some of the estimates. Good to see a range of things and some keyboard instruments as well. So we'll just have to see. I'll put a link in the description and just check out the auction yourself. So thanks for watching, and until next time, have fun and enjoy looking at cool instruments. Bye. Many thanks for tuning in to the Musical Instrument Investigator. I hope that you enjoyed the video. If you did, then please like, subscribe and turn on notifications, and watch out for the next video coming soon.